On this week's episode, a completely tricked out 43-year-old vehicle. James, it's so nice to meet you, and thank you for the tour of the coolest vehicle here outside of Joshua Tree. And tell me how you first found it.
So it was actually family friends. I just heard through word of mouth that they were moving to Hawaii. And so I figured they're probably not shipping a bus to Hawaii. And so I sent them a text, slipped into their DMs, you might say.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, I guess I'm not moving it.
And how long ago was that?
2 years.
So have you been full-time for 2 years?
Yeah, we've been full-time for 2 years. We actually got the bus just over 2.5 years ago, but it had a couple mechanical issues. So I spent a couple months in the shop before we got to really kick it off on its first voyage.
And where have you been? Just, you don't have to say everywhere, but just in general.
We actually haven't left California.
Well, I wouldn't leave California either.
Really proves how much you can just do just staying in one spot. You really don't have to move around that much.
Yeah.
Especially since we do have such a big vehicle. We usually move, stay somewhere for a couple weeks. We drive like 2 hours and then stay somewhere else for a couple weeks. So we move pretty slowly.
Okay, so we're going to find out more about you and about your travels and affordable living. But first, I'm just going to show. So there is the school bus entrance. And this is obviously the kitchen. And I love the creative use of the shelving and everything like that. Oh my gosh. Look at and you have a microwave.
We have a microwave. We have
an oven?
Air fryer.
Oh, air fryer.
Convection oven.
And
so
then you have
a
stove.
Works as both.
Then you have a stovetop.
Yeah, and that's a propane stove. The propane's on the back bumper, so there's a tube that just goes all the way back there.
Okay.
Goes out through the floor.
Okay. And then right here, look at all of this storage that you have at the entrance.
Yeah.
Oh, please remain in your seat. I love that sign.
This whole
and the big wheel.
The cab is
door opener,
like untouched part of the bus.
Yeah.
A lot of the stickers are from the previous owner. I've added a couple too, but I kind of thought it would be fun to keep that one little piece of the bus.
Huge storage.
Very original.
And we're going to meet the owner of those bowls. But the first thing I kind of spotted was you have a shower on your bus.
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely a little bit of a luxury.
No kidding. I love the wood paneling.
Yeah, it's actually EVA foam boat flooring.
Okay, yeah.
So it's adhesive on the back and it's waterproof. We just slapped it onto some plywood.
Wow. Is your water outside too?
Yeah, water tanks outside. Yes.
Water tanks are outside. I'm just going to take a quick pic.
It is also a wet bath, so that's where our toilet is.
Oh my gosh, you have plumbing. I'm envious. I'm dreaming. And then look at all of the countertop space, and then you get extra countertop space by putting this cutting board on top.
This is so that this is at a more ergonomic cutting height.
That makes
because if
sense.
it's down here, it's a little strenuous on your back. So we built this because we would have probably built the whole counter to counter height, but the windows come to right here.
Oh, and you don't want to cut off a window.
No, it looks nicer, and it just was kind of going to be more difficult to get it to finish nicer up there.
And storage bins, and I like how you don't have to move everything when you travel because of that little edge.
Yeah,
they stay up
ledge. These shelves are actually meant to be installed this way in a house, but
exactly.
flip them that way, and they work pretty well.
But look at all of the food storage that you have all the way along there. How long is your bus?
32 feet.
32 feet of glory. Sorry, we're going to interrupt. You're working. Do you want me to avoid taking a shot of you? Because you're so handsome. But I see you've got a workstation here, and that's what you were working on.
Yeah, this is our standing desk.
Standing desk. And then I'm just going to show you. This is why the camera's being a little off, because I have to carry Buddy because they get very excited to see each other. And then you have all the same storage space up top on the other side. Oh, and fans. Look at you, fans, and another fan over there. For what? Because I'm assuming it's not insulated.
The roof is.
Oh, the roof is.
Yeah, it's
from the school bus days.
So yeah, it's
okay.
We were actually very afraid.
Sorry, double sinks. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, that's
amazing. And
this
then
one is actually,
look at the
if you look
faucet.
under here, this one is plumbed to go outside to drain, but this one drains into our little 5-gallon here.
Okay.
So if we're somewhere where we can't drain outside, we drain into that.
Drain into there.
That way we have different options.
Okay. And look at your couch and your seating area. There's the star of the show.
This is her bed.
And
this is her second
swivel table. Look at that. Now, is that a lagoon or did you create it yourself?
From the hardware store.
Yeah.
I've seen people do it with plumbing
We
pipe.
kind of looked at a lagoon, was like the idea we were going off of, but we didn't have the like couple $100 to spend on it.
Mhm.
So this was probably like less than 50 in pipes at Home Depot.
So I want to ask you, so the beds, it looks like you might have storage under there because it's raised. Oh, and look at, you've got the edge headboard. That's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And is that air conditioning?
Yes. Yes, it's an air conditioning. It's a mini split, so it does heating and cooling.
Oh, wow.
It also can just do fan and dehumidifying.
Yeah.
We run that more in the summer. I have a job where I park and we have full hookups.
Mhm.
So we just plug in and run that off of shore power most of the time.
Well, that's how we met because you're going to work here for a bit
Yeah,
at this camp.
exactly.
And sorry, back to, so do you have
Yes.
underbed storage too?
Yeah, that is our whole storage room, basically.
And do you access that from the back or do you access it from
Yeah,
the
you
couch?
access it from right here. There's
That's a ton of storage. Thank you.
let me show you real quick.
Sure.
You just kind of gotta schlep the couch pillows to one side.
And that's a king?
yes.
Oh, you're living the dream.
That was something that when we were building the bus, we really were like, we want a big bed, and we don't have to put the bed away
Up and down, yeah.
because he gets up before me sometimes to work,
Mhm.
so it just made more sense to like have it be a permanent thing.
Okay, so are you digital nomading?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you. Me too. Oh my gosh!
This
Look at all of
goes
that
all the way back.
storage. All the way back to that back wall.
To the back wall. It's about half deep once you get to the back because half of it is actually walled off and you can access it from the outside.
Wow.
So that's where we keep
smart.
like our generator.
And then you have bedside
dirtier
tables,
things.
which are your bins up here.
Yeah.
Bedside tables. Do you mind me asking, did you have to spend a lot to do all of this?
Not really. I
I know you want to play with Buddy. I know.
I bought the bus for I think $5,500. So I got a really good deal because I was getting it from a friend.
No kidding.
But if you do shop around, you can find buses for that cheap.
And then how much do you think you put into it to make it this beautiful?
I feel like we're right under 20,000. I don't think we've gone over.
Wow. And
So
you don't have rents anywhere else? You're full-time, so that's basically your investment in your home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We did the calculations on it a couple months ago, and if we had stayed, we were living in Oakland in the Bay Area,
Mhm.
and if we had stayed in our apartment there, we would have been spending 23 grand a year
A year. Yeah.
just to someone else.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have been like something that, we get to continue to build on. So
It is beautiful. It is beautiful. Let's sit down and I'm going to pause this. Okay, so James, how did you come to the realization that you wanted to live on the road?
I actually grew up around a lot of kind of very similarly minded people. My parents actually own a school bus. I spent the first 2 years of my life living in a bus. It wasn't on the road, but it was like parked on our property.
Okay. So you were familiar with the culture of van life as well?
Very familiar, yeah. I had a lot of family friends growing up who did it. Obviously, the person I bought the bus from. So it's just kind of been something I've always been exposed to, and kind of like never been like, oh, I would never do that, because it's been like, oh, well, I've seen other people close to me do that. So,
Right. And it made financial sense, you said,
it did.
to do it.
And we were both in a spot where like he works completely online, and I was just kind of wanting to take a step back and work on my art. I never really took like a gap year out of high school, so this was kind of my gap year, and then I was like, oh no, I kind of want to keep doing that.
So
And
tell us what brings you here, because
yes,
we're, just for everybody, we're very close to Joshua Tree in a place called 29 Pines. And we're at this really cool campsite. I've not seen anything like this in my travels. And it's just very community oriented. Did you know that coming here?
yeah. I actually came here because I'm currently doing my vetting period in order to become a camp host with the company that owns this location. So then I'll be able to stay here for like a month at a time, or at any of their other different locations.
Well, I looked online when you told me that, and there's Fallbrook, there's one in Oregon, so you could move around and still live this lifestyle and stay in California, because you should come to Canada, but not in the winter.
Not in the winter,
No, don't do that in the winter.
Yeah.
But maybe British Columbia. You could go through Washington State. What do you love about this lifestyle?
I really like just the freedom of it. I do enjoy getting to move around, and that not really having to be like a big deal. Like you can just be like, oh, I kind of want to go somewhere where it's a little warmer this month, and you just pack up and you drive.
And staying within California, your gas prices, per gallon, I had a little bit of a heart attack the first time I filled up in California, but driving a bus, it could get expensive.
It gets very expensive.
How much does it cost to fill up your gas tank? Just curious.
I think last time I paid about $150. I usually don't fill
That's
it up
not as
all the
bad
way.
as I thought.
I think that was, I might have filled
right.
it up about like 2/3 of the way there. So I usually try not to run it all the way down to low, because especially with it being an older engine, it tends to have a couple issues when it gets a little lower on the fuel. So.
Right. And you're probably miles per gallon are pretty low.
Yeah, I get about 8
Yeah, I was
to
going to say
10
about
on a
10.
flat.
Yeah.
But if I'm going up a hill, I can get like 1 or 2 miles a gallon.
Wow.
So it really does depend on the route I'm taking. I have to be very conscious of elevation gains.
Right. When you pass people on the highways, or I guess freeways, do you get people waving at you and, just admiring the vehicle, because it is so beautiful?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't do much passing people. I would say people do more passing
They pass
me.
you, maybe, yes.
But I definitely get a lot, especially since it's kind of like a more classic vehicle than some of the vans you see driving around. I definitely do get quite a bit of attention from it. Especially when I've driven past, a lot of times I'll see like classic car shows, and I'll just watch all the people in the car show just like being like, oh my god, look at that bus.
Do you have a name for her?
His name is Pool Boy.
Pool Boy. I have a best friend who would love that name. He would like to have a pool boy, I think. That is great. That is so funny. So tell me about your art. And I can see some of it, but you do your art here in the bus?
I do a lot of mixed media art. So I do anything from these drawings you see up here to I do a lot of sewing. Like I made all the couch cushions and stuff in here.
Oh, nice.
And I also have a lot of printmaking supplies and stuff. It's all shoved in the various storage nooks in here.
Yeah, which we saw. It's brilliant, brilliant storage. When you meet fairly new people like me, I just celebrated my 4th month of being without a bricks and mortar. What advice do you give to people who you might be meeting them somewhere here and they're fairly new to the lifestyle?
To not start all at once.
Oh.
We definitely did our build really slowly, and I liked that because we didn't even build our shower until 6 months ago, just because at the beginning it wasn't something we really knew that we needed. And we weren't sure, based on the places where we were going to be parking, or just like even how long we were going to be in the bus, like what we really needed. So it was a lot more advantageous to us to just kind of do things as we figured out it was what we wanted.
And how is it working for your partner being a digital nomad? Because that's what I'm new to as well.
Hmm. Um, he does find it pretty easy. I mean, really all we need for it is an internet connection and to be able to make sure we have enough power, which in the winter gets a little more complicated if we don't have enough solar. But we do have a generator that we run sometimes.
Of course you do, James. Of course you have a generator. Oh my goodness.
We have backups on backups on backups.
And are you Starlinking or using something else?
We're using the camp Wi-Fi right now, but we do have Starlink.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
And I love because it takes so much battery power from me
Mm-hmm.
that when I can come someplace like this for $25 a night, and the shower is quite lovely here, open sky, which I just thought was fantastic. But I do like the fact that you have your own, because sometimes if I'm boondocking, it's hard to find. That's actually one of the hardest things I find, is to find a shower.
Yeah.
It's not finding food, it's not finding anything else, it's finding the shower. And for you to have it here and to have that choice with two of you living, it's luxury. It's luxury.
Yeah, it makes it feel a little less like camping when you really have everything you need. It's nice.
So you grew up in this environment. How did the people that you grew up with, how do they feel about the fact that you loved it so much you adopted the lifestyle?
I think they like it. My mom loves the bus.
Well, because it's so pretty.
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty.
She actually hasn't seen it since I got it. She saw it when I bought it. It was full of like Burning Man stuff.
Okay.
It was pretty dirty. It was definitely a project.
You have some really interesting friends.
Yeah.
And did you paint it this pretty color?
No, it was blue.
And what do you call it? Because I would call it robin egg blue, but what do you call it?
I was able to find one spray paint can at Home Depot that matched it perfectly, called Peaceful Blue.
Okay.
And I like that.
Oh, peaceful blue. I like that. What do you have any plans to go back to a bricks and mortar, or is this pretty much your lifestyle that you think you're just going to embrace?
I really like this. I do think eventually I may kind of purchase like a home base to park at. Would be kind of nice.
In a city or more like a homestead?
More like a homestead. I did grow up in the woods, so that's kind of what I'm used to. The city kind of overwhelms me a little bit.
When I think of Oakland, I don't think of the woods.
No, that was like right once I was getting out of school. That was my first apartment in a city, and neither of us really liked it.
Yeah.
It's like the main appeal of being in a city is like you go out and you go do things and you go on bars and stuff, but that wasn't really something that we really do that much.
So it seems like you have the perfect existence. It really does. It just seems so, you have all the conveniences of being here and the conveniences of home, so to speak. Conveniences of home. Yeah. Is there anything else about you that we really need to know?
I don't think so.
No? You're an artist. You're a full-time traveler.
Full-time artist, traveler.
Happy partner. You have the cutest dog who likes to come over to my camp and eat breakfast.
Yeah, she's an opportunistic snacker. So.
Has she been good with the traveling? How long have you had her?
We've had her for like 3.5 years now.
Okay, so she knew life before, and then how did she adapt to this life?
She was pretty good at it. We got her when we were in Oakland, so she did grow up like kind of in a house, but we were always kind of traveling a lot, and she loves driving in the car, so it was a pretty easy switch for her to make. You've seen how willing she is to sniff around anyone else's vehicles.
She's all over the camp, and Buddy takes that as an invitation to go run out and play. And I just wanted to thank you because I just love touring other people's rigs, and according to YouTube, other people do too. So thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you. So tell me about the outside of Bluebird. I know the name is actually Pool Boy, but
Yeah.
Bluebird.
So this is all the blues original. It was actually this was its color when it was in service. It was never a school bus.
Oh wow, peaceful blue for a school bus.
Peaceful. Well, no, it wasn't a school bus. It was a transport bus.
Okay.
I think they used it for like airport transit in San
Okay.
Jose.
Yep.
We actually recently added new headlights.
I love they're retro, right?
These are LED, but this is like the retro. These used to be giant halogen bulbs.
Wow. And look at Buddy's run off to be with your partner.
Yeah.
Oh well, everyone knows him here. And what do you use this for? This beautifully built front.
This is we kind of use it like a picnic table.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you have chairs, you can kind of use it like a table, or a lot of the times it's just a bench.
You can just sit on it to look at the view.
I do yoga on it sometimes.
Oh.
You could spread a mat out on it.
It's almost the exact width of a yoga mat.
Yeah, so
That's
it works
gorgeous.
pretty well for that. It's not attached, so it actually comes out.
So you could actually take it out and do yoga on a beach if you wanted to.
Yeah, and what we actually use it for is it's the base to our outdoor shower. So when we set that up, that way we just put this down and it's like a nice little deck.
Sorry, you said outdoor shower. I'm like, and there's more?
There's another shower?
There's more?
We don't use it that much, but it is just kind of...
It's nice to have the option.
We figured if we're going to make the bumper
is.
Anyway, we might as well make it useful.
Are these
for
original?
Else. Yes, that's all.
Very cool.
We've had to replace some of them because they were cracked. This antenna only gets AM radio. So
yes, I remember AM radio.
Yeah.
Yes. And what's in this little storage box here?
It's my batteries. So those
oh wow.
Yeah, those are the bus batteries that run the engine.
Yep.
And then in here we have a first aid kit.
Very smart.
That's smart. The one that came with the bus. But some of the items have been like replaced inside, so there's like fresh bandages and stuff in there.
So I forgot to ask, what year is the bus?
1981.
81, right. I was in grade 8.
Yeah, I always, whenever I'm working at the campground during the summer, I have a lot of campers tell me like, oh, that looks like a bus back when I was a kid. And I was like, it might be.
Yeah. Very much that. Well, yeah, 81. Well, that was a very good year for me, actually. And your venting, is that your AC that you're...
That is our toilet.
The toilets and the shower. And ventilation.
I wouldn't inhale too closely.
Yeah.
This is more storage. So this just opens up under here.
Wow, you're not going to run out of anything. And you've got your leveling blocks there.
Yeah, we try to not use those because it's really kind of dangerous lifting a vehicle this heavy. Yeah. But this is also an outdoor desk.
Yeah, because you've also got the dualies on the back, right? So so leveling blocks would be...
You have to use quite a few leveling blocks.
Tricky.
But this is kind of where we come outside to stand and work sometimes too.
Oh, that's nice. That's a great idea. And then just look at the view.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
The view.
Have somewhere, and this side of the bus we usually park so it's in the shade. That way,
for that purpose,
we kind of have somewhere to hang out in the cool if we want to be outside.
Well, your bus is so big. I move around my vehicle 3 times a day. You probably don't have to do that.
Oh no, we try to not, because it's actually better to, once it gets up and running, to drive it for like 20 minutes.
Those are some serious tires if you had to replace them.
Yeah, I had to replace them earlier this year. It was...
I'm going to pause you because I have to locate a dog. Okay. So yes, big expensive tires.
Very big. We used to have a spare, but we actually don't have one anymore. Just because we figured we're going to be calling a tow truck anyway. Yeah, help us change it. Because, like I said before, it's really quite difficult to lift. It's
not like you're going to jack this up.
I wouldn't feel safe doing it personally. I'd rather get someone who knows how to. So we don't have that anymore. But yes, they are very heavy. Tried to lift one, not easy.
I'm I'm a cyclist. I'm admiring. I left mine at home just because of all the dust and theft risk and everything like that.
Yes.
So you've got bikes on the back.
Mm-hmm. They can ride here, or sometimes they ride on the back of the car too. It just depends on what type of drive we're doing.
That's your car?
That's my partner's car. Yeah.
Okay, so you have two modes of. So you don't have to go into town and spend all this gas to go grocery shopping.
No, that would be a lot more driving.
It would be. And there's the amazing air conditioning unit.
Yeah, that's the other half.
The outside half.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And is that storage in the black bag up there?
Yeah, that is when we first started. Before we bought the bus, we were actually living in the 4Runner for a couple months. So we have a platform that we built so the back seats turn into a bed in there, and that's the mattress that goes in there. In case we do any off-roading, we can go to get to some more isolated locations if we want to for a night.
This is the best of both worlds. Yeah. Honestly, I'm looking at push bar in to release window latch. I'm guessing that that's original too.
Yes.
Emergency.
That one, I don't think that opens. I'm pretty sure the cables on the inside are stuck, but in theory, that window does open.
In theory.
In theory. This
that's
deck
your propane.
Matches the one in the front.
Oh, and you had to cut through your Bluebird license plate to
someone else
put your
did
bikes
that.
up. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that would be painful. Wow.
No, that was...
Check out the size of that tailpipe.
Yeah, that, if you want to get down, you can see it actually goes all the way to the front of the bus, too.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's quite the obstacle to watch out for when you're driving. You definitely don't
want
to hit
clearance.
Yeah. But this is our other,
so
the back of the bed.
That still opens?
Yeah.
Oh, because when you said the storage was under the bed.
Yeah, so that's where we keep gas cans and kind of more outdoor utilities.
Yeah, the things that you need to reach from out here, hoses and things like that. Smart to cover your tires for the sun.
We usually try to do it at least on the sun-facing side. Since we park somewhere and are usually there for like a week or two, it's pretty easy for us.
Helps keep your tires alive a lot longer.
Yeah, and you don't want to wear them unevenly too, because then it can become a lot more dangerous to drive them like that. So just doing this makes sure that it's not like one side is always getting burned by the sun.
Is that under the bed access too?
Yes. You have to have a ratchet to open it though.
Okay.
So
I'm sure on this beautiful beast you have a ratchet.
Yeah. This is also something you won't see on many vehicles. 2 gas tank holes.
Oh.
This one is my diesel tank for the front.
Right.
And this one is actually now houses the diesel heater.
Because of course you have a heater too.
But it used to have a gas tank, which is very odd for a vehicle to have both a diesel and a gas tank, because it had a gas-powered, very ancient AC from the 80s on the top. That's not there anymore.
Is that a deck that you can sit on?
Yes.
Of course it is. Of course it is, Jason. You have a deck on top.
There. We have, it's like 6 feet long, so it's a modest deck.
And there's your solar.
Yes. We have 3 panels.
A modest deck.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is so great. And then that's just all the wiring to your solar. How much solar do you have up top?
600 watts.
600 watts.
So not that much. But it's kind of, we're maxed out on like the charging rate of our batteries right now. So we kind of have to get a bigger battery system to get more panels. So that's what we're going with for now.
Seems like you've got a perfect life. Thank you very much for doing this.
Of course.
Please remember to like and subscribe. We're so glad you're here.